crazy nonsense coming out of South Carolina where a man was dilly-dallying around with fireworks, put it in top of a top hat, and it exploded, and he passed away from his injuries. And there also was a fatality here in my area in Blount County of another male who was handling fireworks by the name of Matthew Sellers, and the fireworks exploded into his chest, and he died. So we're going to talk about this incident in South Carolina. Thank you for joining me. Like, share, subscribe, drop your comments below. And if you'd like to donate to this great network, $MCGREW 129 Cash App. Thank you for joining me. Okay. Well, you have to ask yourself, what would possess a person to put a fireworks in a top hat? You also see he has a cigarette in his hand. There are other devices on the ground in the background behind him. And he was also drinking. So imagine you've been drinking, breath fuming of alcohol. Common sense things. You don't even smoke and drink together, which we've heard a lot of people like to smoke when drinking. I've heard people say that. Well, I only smoke when I drink. Don't know his vices. But he's not here to tell us anything because he's no longer alive. He put a firework in the top of this here. Okay? Don't know how many, but why? Garbed up for 4th of July, and now he is no longer alive. How much did he have to drink? I believe his wife told him not to do that. He's also recently married. I think they share a child together, from my understanding. Alan Ray, why did you do this? Alan Ray MCGREW was killed at his South Carolina block party on the 4th of July. Fireworks exploded on his head. He's dancing to his own tune, one person chuckled, and another remarked that the big show would be starting soon. Later, MCGREW 41, a HVAC worker, put a large lit firework on top of his Stars and Stripes hat. I thought he was just showboating before he set it on the ground, his wife, Paige Morris MCGREW, told the Post and Courier. I didn't realize he had already lit it. The firework exploded and caused head injuries that likely killed MCGREW immediately. He was pronounced dead at the scene Thursday. So what type of firework did he put on his head? Couldn't be a small firecracker. But you have to think, what you're putting on top of your head, is flammable. So it doesn't matter what it's made of, cotton, felt. You don't put anything that could ignite it. Then you've also been drinking. We're traumatized, his son Hunter MCGREW, 20, told the Post Saturday. The family, who has been overwhelmed with attention following the devastating event, said any portrayal of MCGREW as a drunken fool couldn't be further from the truth. The dad rarely drank, but did that day as he celebrated not only Independence Day, but his son's recent engagement. The proud pop had gone all out to commemorate welcoming a daughter-in-law into the family, his wife said. He loved his country and looked forward to celebrating every year, Paige MCGREW, 53, told the Post. Just before the incident happened, he hugged me and his son, and he said, "You're my rock and you are my heart," she recalled. Me being his rock and his son being his heart. The couple, married just last year after being together since at least 2017. Sweet photos on social media shared them donning matching Mr. and Mrs. t-shirts around the time of their April 2023 nuptials. This is a picture of the late Mr. Alan Ray MCGREW, 41 years of age. Another photograph of the Mr. and Mrs. last year, around the time of their nuptials. Another photograph of the couple. He was a genuine good person and he loved life, Paige MCGREW told the Post and Courier. He worked hard and he played hard. Neighbors remembered him as the nicest guy who would cut everyone's lawn and was always willing to lend a helping hand. At least 4 people were killed in firework accidents this year, according to reports, and many more were injured, including several on Long Island. New York Post is the source. Here is the couple. In happier times, Mr. and Mrs. MCGREW. Another picture of them from last year, 2023. And now he is no longer alive. 41 years of age, South Carolina man, now deceased, fooling around. Now the wife says, I don't want anyone labeling him a drunk. I don't know him personally, but I'm going to say this. He had been drinking allegedly from the article I read in the news clipping video that I've shared to my community page. Feel free to go over there to check out the community page. This is just so ridiculous because now we have 2 men from the South dead from 4th of July injuries. And I found that interesting, both from the South, Tennessee and South Carolina. I decided to bring you this story. I will try to upload the other one shortly, no later than tomorrow. But they are both posted to my community page if you need to see the information. How jacked up is this? To be goofing off and putting it in a hat. The hat can ignite. You're also drinking. As she said, I didn't even know it was lit. Didn't even know the hat was lit. So it was probably simmering up there in the hat, the firework. And he had no idea. Wow. What a hot mess. Once again, Alan Ray MCGREW is no longer alive from a 4th of July incident of putting a firework inside of a top hat. This is a picture of him and his wife, Paige, last year, around the time of getting married. Fourth of July, tragic incident. He is no longer alive. These are photographs of fireworks that were brewing behind him before he met his untimely death. Here he is dancing around, having a good time with the top hat on. And he lit a firework in the top of that hat and died on the scene. This makes no sense to me. Why in the world would anyone put a fireworks inside of a top hat and put it on top of their head and think something bad would not happen? Help me understand this. I feel bad for the family. This lady's newly married. I do believe they said they share a son together. This has to be tragic for the son, friends, neighbors, the community. But you also have to be aware of what you're doing. And this just didn't make any logical sense to put that inside of a hat, knowing the hat could catch a fire. I don't understand this. And you can't make me understand. And as I said, I find it very interesting. We have 2 cases of deaths on the 4th of July right here in the South. And the other one is in Blount County, which sits outside of Knoxville. And that guy was handling it in his hand and it exploded in his chest. And you know you should not be handling fireworks. You should not be putting them in Coke bottles, cans, mailboxes, cars, handling them with your hands, putting them on top of your head, putting them on top of hats, inside of your coat pocket, pants. Come on. This is ridiculous. Yes, they say he had been drinking. But the wife claims he is far from a drunk. I don't know what's the truth. In the end, probably won't even matter. You're entitled to your perception. But the point is, drinking or not, He should have never put the fireworks inside of the top hat. It makes no sense. Garbed up, red, white, and blue, celebrating the holiday, plus a new engagement, welcoming a new bride to be in the family to only die on the scene. And I can't even imagine his injuries and everyone standing around watching and gawking at this person suffering from his own demise. He did this to himself. He did this to himself because he should have known better. He's too old, 40-something years old. You know better. You know not to handle fireworks. You know not to put fireworks in objects. And you know definitely not to put nothing near your face, your hands, or your body. And that's that. Thank you for joining me. Have a wonderful evening. I'll talk to you guys later. You have been listening to The Vault XL. Thank you.